Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see if everything is working. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another stream. How's it going? Uh, All right, let's. I'm gonna look into some questions from the chat as well. All right, let's see. How's everyone doing today? Welcome, welcome. And I'm gonna quickly post this as well. Give me one quick second. Da-da-da-da-da. Check. Da-da-da-da. How's everyone doing? Let's see if I can share that direct link instead. There we go. Awesome, awesome. All right, let's quickly do this. Ooh, nice. The sound is very low. Check your volume. I can see that the sound seems nice, but I can double check. Oh, and Felix, there you go. And welcome to the stream. Good to see you here. Perfect. Awesome. Seems nice. Mohsin, is the sound better anymore? Or is the one... What happened to my English? Is the sound better now? Let's see. Cool, cool, cool. So we're gonna have a good look into, but it's not now. How do I differentiate between super mega? All right, let's see. No, so this is from the software. It seems like this is good enough. How have you been, everyone? Yeah, it seems like everything is well. Sound mixer options, volume, input device. Yes. Yeah, seems like everything is good. Mono audio, inputs volume is good, 100. If I lower it down, this is, this is how it should. Yeah, but I think it looks nice overall. Yep. Input volume, blah, 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 blah. Cool. I think it's good. I'm at a pub though, not gonna lie. But did you not say you are not gonna go there? What happened? That's better now, thanks. I did not change anything. I just turned it off and turned it on. That's what I do. That's what I get paid for every day, every single day. All right, let's quickly start having a look at what we're talking about here. So we're gonna look into the new Angular control flow. I wanted to do this, but I did that instead. Dasha happened. Oh, say hi to Dasha. And also, I'm not really sure if you have any way of reaching out to Dasha, but I don't, and that sucks. But yeah, say hi to her. All right, let's see. Control flow. We do have the RFC, and we also have now some articles by some other people as well. So we're gonna have a look into both the control flow and also the deferred loading as well. See you tomorrow, Felix. Have a good one. So we're gonna be trying out the new npm.js at Angular/core. We do want to look at the latest version, but the one, not the stable one, but the one that is this one. So 6 days ago, this is the one. And I know that this one included a lot of good features. Actually, we can look at it from the from GitHub to see what got included into the releases. Releases. Assalamu alaikum. I have two questions. Go ahead, ask the questions. YPEX, how are you doing today? Was it VPOX or how do you? Which company are you working at? I currently work at STALT, which is a School of Applied Technology. So I work as a head instructor and a software architect at SALT. And I'm currently leading a lot of boot camps. So um, I train developers for 3 months in different sort of batches or different classes. Yeah, that's what I do. So let's have a look at 16.2, 15.2, this one. Where's the V7 next 7? Where's the next 7 release? Ah, there you go. Pre-release. This is the one I was looking for. Lazy loading animations code. I think this is related to the control flow. No. Ah, okay. But this is not related to the control flow itself. Unknown 7 is asking, let's say, let me bring in the chat. I killed the chat. Restream chat. And now I won't be able to see the messages, but let me put it right here. So you have pasted a question that is this. Let's say we create a service with injectable provide in root. What does the object with provide in property doing? What do providers array in a module and component indicate? So first of all, you don't need the provided root now. So previously what used to happen is, for example, if you and let me try to make it as clear as possible. So for example, if you had let's say your app module for before, and you also had something like a feature module, for example, then what you could do previously is, in the feature module you could say that I'm going to have a service, let's call it profile service. So previously you could provide the profile service inside the previous module. I mean, you can do it even now, but essentially what this would do is that the profile service would be part of this guy right here, right? But you could also do the same thing. You could also provide the profile service right here as well. And the way that you would do it would be something like this. So you would have an ng module, and in the ng module you would be defining your code. So here you can say, for example, something like providers. Da, da, da. Oh, this looks not so good because it's center aligned. Yes, now it looks good. So then you can have, for example, here you can have providers, and here you can define the profile service here. So if this is the app module itself, then that means that the app, or this is class app module. So this means that the profile service is part of the app module. If you do the same thing for the feature module, that means that now we have two different instances of the profile service. But in order for this to actually happen, the profile service itself, if you define this, this would be an injectable, and this injectable would not have any provided in this case. I believe you could also do the provided in ID, but I'm not going to go there. But let's say there is no provided in. That means that if this is injectable right now, I'm not sure by what it does by default right now, but essentially if you create an injectable and you provide it into different feature modules, that means that the profile service has two instances of the service, one here and one here. So let's say your profile service had something like let's say user, and the user could be of type user or null. Let me know if this is readable, by the way, or is it too dark, and then I can change the maybe I should change the text color. So this should be white, um, and this should also be opacity 0. So in this particular case, then this is how it would look. However, if if you go in the feature module and then you assign user something, this user something, it will not be available in app module, even though you're providing the service in both profile service, sorry, in feature module and app module. But since you have provided in both of them, it creates two different copies of the profile service or instances of the profile service. So if you update the user in one of those, the other would not have that. And that is what usually happened before. And previously we used to provide them like this. When you do something like provided in root, for example right here, if you do something like provided in root, this means that this service is now available globally in the entire application, in the app module, and also in all the other modules as well. So you don't have to worry about that at all. Then you don't need this providers at all, because if you even try to do this, then it's also not going to work. So this needs to go away. Now if you update the user from feature module, it will also be reflected in the app module, because the whole application uses one single instance. This is called the singleton pattern, in which one class, and this profile service is essentially a class. So this profile service is going to be available in the entire application. So one single instance of the profile service is available in both feature module and app module. I hope that makes sense. But why do we use providers? Now you already know. If we want to have services that we only want to provide in this particular, or not just services, but also tokens, values, we definitely can, because it accepts different things. But essentially anything that can have an injection token can be provided right here. So in this particular case, we have providers that essentially can provide services. Most of the times we use to provide services. So if you create a service that can be provided into providers, if you want to import one module into another, and this feature module could be, for example, I don't know, profile page. So this could be, for example, home page module or whatever. So if it's a page module, if it's something that you also want to include into the app module, then you would be using the imports array like this. So you can say something like imports, and here this takes essentially an array. I don't know why I've written this. And then you can import feature module in this one. So then this feature module essentially becomes a dependency of the app module. So this is then provided, not provided, but imported into the other one. So if your feature module does not exist, or if this doesn't work well, then the app itself doesn't work well. So this is called, um, uh, this is sort of making this as a dependent of it. So I hope that makes sense. Does that clear your question, unknown 7? Nowadays when we use, nowadays we don't really use app module, because we are trying to use standalone components, which means that previously if you had multiple components, for example, you had header component, you also had, for example, I don't know, let's call it footer component, they all needed to be in a particular module, and then the app would run, or Angular would look at a module, and then it would run the entire code. Now we don't really need the modules, because each component is a standalone component, and inside of app module we have app component, but that's a completely different story. If you look at the angular.io and you go through the tutorials, you should be able to find new information about that. Kanishka Naik says, thanks bro, I really wanted to know Angular um, works. This is giving some idea. Cool. We have not even started yet, but we are going to start in just a bit, and then you'll get more idea. IT says, Salam Hassan Bhai, can I ask something little off topic to the current question? Please ask. There's one thing that I say all the time. I'm going to share the link as well. It's called don'tasktoask.com, which essentially just says, if you have a question, just write it. Don't ask, may I ask a question, or I have a question, or any expert around here. Does someone know JavaScript? Does someone have TypeScript? Your first message should be the whole question. that saves time, that also makes the communication much faster as well. And this is not just only what I use usually for example, for private communication, or not private communication but casual communication, but also at work. This is really, really important. So I hope that makes sense. So ask your questions. Basically, I want to understand, how does Angular decide whether to create the same instance service or parent or child or not? Okay, so I think I answered your question already. Cool. So now you know. All right, so let's have a look at the control flow. Hey Lars, how's it going? I finally got the chance to actually look at the control flow. So I'm gonna try it out today, and let's see how this goes in general. So let's quickly go to the V7 Next as well. So let's quickly go there. Let's say terminal. I hope Angular team will provide some kind of global setting so we don't have to set standalone true in every single component. I think now if you create a component, it just does it. I mean, oh, okay. I understand what you mean. I mean, the CLI does it for us, but you don't want to have it in every component. Understood. YouTube. Do I have a YouTube? No. Personal? Yeah. YouTube. Yep. Let's do npm install -g at angular/cli. Or I could just run npx angular cli at new, let's call it ng control flow standalone dry run routing. So make it default, so you have to opt out if not in standalone. Yeah, exactly. That's what I also agree to. Yes, absolutely. So by default, everything is standalone. If you want modules, you can opt out in that case by just um, saying something. I don't know what. Now that we think about it, what would you prefer to have there? And I'm not saying like giving a like an ultimatum, like this is what we want, but just having a brainstorming. So right now we have standalone. What would you call the other one? Not standalone, or what? Do you want to enable server-side rendering, static site rendering? What are we talking about here? I've not looked into this one at all yet. Interesting. How did that come in? Or when did this come in? Does that mean that it is it has integrated analog JS automatically, or what have I missed? Let's move try run. Module true. That could be. All right, having a look at the question from, and I so want to have this extension work for me, but I'm gonna do this the old school way. Okay, so what was the question? So I'm currently learning data structures and algorithms in Java, but I was already doing HTML, CSS, but now it's time to start JavaScript. But I don't know it's okay to do Java and JavaScript together. Any strategy you would recommend? I think the strategy I can recommend is to have focused time on one thing at a time, because when you do context switching, it takes quite a lot of time to get into the focus mode. According to one of the studies, it takes about 20 minutes to actually be at your peak performance if you are switching your context. So if you do it quite often, you learn JavaScript, go to Java, learn JavaScript, go to Java. That switches a lot of context. So I would recommend not doing that. So if you're working with Java and JavaScript, just start with one of those. That would be my recommendation. 107 says, I got disconnected. Thanks. I rewatched it. One thing, sometimes we use providers and components only. What is the scope of the service in that case? If you use providers in the component only, then it is only available for that component. So let's say your application has 5 different components. If you do it on one of the components, then it's only provided in that particular component. If you do it on a module level, then it's available on the module. If you use provided in, then it's available as a singleton throughout the application. So I hope that makes sense. You want to enable server-side rendering? I am going to say no at the moment. No, it's not what like that. Now I want it to be standalone true as default. Okay, got you. No problem. IT. That's an interesting name on YouTube. I'm not really sure. I mean, I have a good PC, but as soon as something, I mean, I start a bunch of things, it still starts. Yeah, it sounds like an engine. Then ng. No, not that one. Ng control flow. Let's quickly open that. By the way, Lars, but what IDE do you use? Do you also use VS Code, or do you have some other preference? Unknown 7 says continuing to this, would the child component of that parent continuing this, would the child component of that parent component get the same instance too? No. So it really depends. For example, if you are trying to, because two components, if you are using two standalone components, which Lars and I are talking about right now, then those two components will not have the same provider in this case. For example, if you go to StackBlitz, you can actually try that out as well. So if you're going for, let's say, an Angular project, I love how StackBlitz has evolved to support so many things now, especially using the web containers now. So if you had two different components, then you would essentially, did I click Angular? Yes, I did. And this is the standalone app. So if you had, for example, components, and you had, let's say, a header. I don't want to do that. What I want is this. And let's call this header. Then we also should have another component. Let's call this nav. So then if you're trying to use nav inside the header, so if you do something like, it's going to be called app, but I don't have this imported, so I'm going to have to import this first. This is not a standalone. Oh, what? So we have a common module, which is coming from the Angular. Okay, then I have to mark this as a standalone in this case. Okay, standalone, true. And then I have to also do imports, and then let's quickly import the nav component right here. Then we also have the nav component that should also be standalone true. And then I also need to import in my main TS the header component, and then I can quickly go ahead and do, it's my app component, it's in the main, of course. So here we should then have hello from name. Here we could have the app header. App header. Fun, fun, fun. What are you talking about? Opening tag app not terminated. What? Oh yeah, in the header component. No. In the nav component. No. In the header here. So app nav. There we go. So the header works here. The nav works as well. If you want, we could just say, for example, host gets a display. Don't judge my CSS skills right now. I'm just trying to get this done as soon as possible. So we have the padding, 10 pixels right here. And then we can also say something like, let's go here. Maybe also we can say border 1 pixel, solid gray. And we got the border right here. And then we can also do the same thing in the header as well. But then we can also have the border red here. So we have the header, which contains the nav, as you can see right now. So if I had a service in this particular case, let's say, I don't know, data service. And you had the data service here, which has a person, and the person's name is Ahsan. And then what you want to do is you want to use the service. So if this is injectable, as you can see right here, so if you try to not provide anything at all right here, I'm not really sure if it defaults to provided in root. I'm not really sure. Let's actually have a look at angular.io. So if I go to services, uh, injectable service. So if I go here, it's hero service, blah blah blah. So they say provided in root, so that means that it's not scoped to root in that case. Cool, that makes sense. So then if I try to go here and say, hey, I have a providers, and here if I say something like what was the name of it, data service, right? So I have providers data service. Here I can say something like um, data or ds equals inject, and here we can say data service, and then on init I could do something like console.log in header component, and here we can say this dot ds dot user. Doesn't it have user or person? Change that. So that means if I console log here, then in the header it should be working. So it's reloading. Let's see what happens when it reloads. Hello, what happened? Preview local, clear on reload. Yes. Should I refresh? Can I ask another question then Angular? Yes, of course. Is my internet okay? Yeah, it is. I think I'm using probably too many resources from Stragglers. So here you can see in the header component, I got the name Ahsan, right? And this is okay. But if I try to do the same thing, so in header, I have both provided this and injected this as well. In the nav, which is a child component, so to say, because I use the nav inside the header, if I try to do the same thing here, let's see what happens. So if I go here, I say I want to inject data service. If I just do this, right, let's see what happens in this case. So in ID generation collision didn't component and okay, it's showing something else. And then I go here and say this dot ds dot person console dot log drinking Lipton. It looked like that, sir. Is it cold where you live? Yes, this is the Lipton green tea. I was thinking about actually having I was thinking about having a tea with milk, but I chose to go with green tea. So it's cold. It's right now, I think it's 1 degree or maybe less. Let's see. What is the weather like right now? It's 8 degree. It was 1 degree in the morning or yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday when it was 1 degree. Does it show previous days? No. 10 days. That's not too bad. I mean, 7 degrees, psh, not too bad. Okay, so in this, what we've just discovered is if you provide this in the parent and you try to inject this in the child, then you usually get it because the parent component has this provided automatically. What would happen if we did the other way around? So if I don't provide it, you can see that it starts crying. So if I don't do this here, and if I provide in the child component, now what happens? Let's see. So if I refresh this, and I didn't see this being refreshed. So if I refresh this, then this probably will not work because I'm trying to provide this in the child component. So its scope is a bit narrower than the parent component, but let's have a look. 8 degrees. Wow, yes, it's 7, 8, 9. Yes. So if you provide this in the parent, then it is provided into the child. I think it's the same, or when you think about it, it's the same context as if you provide something in the app module, you actually get it in every single component because it goes through the hierarchy tree. But if you provide something in the child and then you try to access that in the parent, that would not work. So in this particular situation, if I provide this in the parent, then you can see it works. So I get both the logs right here in the header component and also without the header component. So I hope that makes sense. All right. I'm looking at other chat messages as well. Actually, I'm working on React Native's front developer. I want to learn backend as well. So please let me know from where I should start or which are with React Native. I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of tutorials on YouTube, to be honest. But if you want to look at, for example, Node.js, or if you want something with TypeScript, you can look into. Um, I have two good tutorials that you can start look into. So if I go to Code with Ahsan, you should be able to find. It should be in the courses. So this one is a good one. I'm going to share the link in the chat. So we build a full stack application with this one. So you can use, if you want, you can use React on the front end and you can just build the back end as we follow this one. I think you can also go with the, if I remember correctly, the Monstack crash course. And this one uses React on the front end. But if you want, you can just do the same thing with React Native, to be honest. So I hope you find both of the links useful. Okay. So let's quickly see if I can open my application now. I should be able to run npm run npm start. Let's have a look. No problem, Ali. All right. So this one, I got to know that in here, when we try to look at Angular compiler option and check parameters, input access modifiers, true, strict templates, true. First of all, this was pretty fast. This is really, really fast. Interesting. Cool. I like it. Then let's have a look at the components. So in here, we do have everything as usual. We have the config that provides the routes. Yeah, I think the rest of the things look as they are, but we can start looking into the control flow in this case. So we did end up with, I'm gonna have to find the summary, control flow deferred loading. So this was on August 1st. Okay, so this is the one that we can look at. This RFC is completed now. So I think this is where we can actually start looking into the control flow in general. So the best thing about this was that this was first asked in the open by the Angular team, and this was asked by the community, and the community responded. The community also had a lot of feedback on what we think is a good approach, because previously we went with the hash sign, and then we finally proposed to use the @ sign or the @ syntax, and then we call it the block syntax in general. So this is what we're talking about. So here we have the header component that shows every time. If we have a show body, then we show the body component. Then we have else if show summary, and then we have the summary component, and then we have else here. So this is really, really good because previously we did not have this. So we had something like just ng if, and you would do else in that case. So if and else. Now we have else if, else if, else if. So that's really, really, really nice. So we can go with this one and try this out. So let's quickly serve the application. So we have already served the application. So let's no, that's not the one. This is the one. All right, so we do have the application right here. So let's try to build something. What should we build? What do you think we should build? And we have to be quick because I want this stream to be a bit shorter so I can go to sleep early, and I'm gonna sit down now. What should we build? Do you have an API that you want to recommend that we should be using? Or should I just go randomly? Do you have any recommendation? What should we build? And it should be small. It should be something that is achievable in, let's say, 30 minutes so I can try it. Can we try to do something like, I don't know, maybe try to do something like, we had Open API, or is it API, openapi.com? Maybe we can try to get something from the ChatGPT API. View product, try, no, log in. So this one, let's see. I'm not really sure if I would need to do anything, but let's see. API, the API itself. Give me 1 second so I don't expose any of these secrets. Image generation, or okay, can we do image generations as well? Okay. Then I think we should be just using the wait a second. I think we can just use the ChatGPT API for creating this. Let's see. All right. So then we do need to have the package for OpenAPI or OpenAI. And let's see if they have it. OpenAI. So let's quickly do that. Does it also support TypeScript out of the box? Okay, so we can use them just like this. Cool. Chat completion params. Cool, then we should be able to install that. So let's quickly do that actually. And I'm also gonna quickly add Tailwind CSS so we don't have to spend too much time on that. So Tailwind CSS, get started, framework guides. Let's quickly do, where's Angular? There's Angular. Then we have this guy right here. Let's quickly copy this guy. New dependencies optimized. And also by default, it seems like it's using Vite, which is awesome. Let's add Tailwind CSS as well right here. I don't think we would have to change anything, to be honest. I think we just need to give this guy right here, and this should be right here. I'm gonna update this like this, and then we need to add the styles into the styles.scss. Add this right here, and then we can just run the serve. So it should be good. Cool. Then we can quickly go ahead and actually remove all of it. So let's go and do this. So I'm going to remove all of it, and then this is how it looks because there's nothing there. We can quickly add a header, so we can say something like p4, and then this actually should be a header. This should have some classes, so let's say class p x3 py 1.5. You can also say bg indigo 600 and flex items center So we do that. Then we also add a text here. We can say something like ng control flow. So we have this right here. We can also add a text white to this. I don't want to handle it right now for different schemes like dark and light, but we'll see. So this one we can probably go with 14. There we go. And now we can quickly go to the main itself. So let's quickly do this. So main, and then we have the router outlet right there. We can say class, and here we can probably say container, and here we can then have the router component. So quickly create a component. So gc home, or we can say generate, because we are going to generate an image and we are going to also list image, but I'm thinking now. Let's quickly say generate is fine. And this should create the component right here, and it should be standalone by default. So if I go here, it is there already. Let's quickly do a route for that. So we quickly can go here and say path. The path is empty. Let's do path match full redirect to generate. Then we can quickly add the new one. We can say the path is generate. We can do load component. The load component essentially is a function that takes an import that should go to generate / generate component dot then, and here we should say m dot generate component. So this should actually take us to generate works. Cool. We should be having the same styles of paddings as the header on the container as well. So we do this, and now we have similar spacing. Good. Now we can talk about just generating the Open API. So let's install the Open API, npm install OpenAI, and this should be installed in an instance. Where do I need to send my API key? So I need to just set my API key, and that should be good. So give me 1 second to create that. So I'm gonna go to configs. Let's say, or actually we can add this to app config, or no. I mean, we can add this to app config right here, and then we can take it from there. But if I have an OPI, okay, let's actually do file. So we can do something like okay, so let's do openai.ts, and here we're gonna just do this, and then we can export or we can just export const this guy right here, and then this should be imported from OpenAI, and then here we're gonna specify our key, and then the rest should be good. So I'm gonna just grab the key of OpenAI. Give me 1 second. Did I have it in my code with Ahsan? I think so. So if I go to env, let's see. Okay, so then if I go right here, it should be good, and then I can close this guy, and then I can also close this guy. Cool. Then I have my keys set up. So then all I need to do is, when my component or my generate component, when it does, I just need to generate an image. So I can, for example, say something like OpenAI is gonna be of type OpenAI. Doesn't it generate any? Okay, we'll see. So here we can say import from OpenAI. Doesn't it do yeah, it should have a class OpenAI, right? And here we should say OpenAI, and we're importing this from the OpenAI file, right? I mean, we don't really need that if we already have the value right here, so we can um yeah, then I don't really need this guy at all. So here we can say implements ng on or on init. Oh, it's interesting, it doesn't import it automatically yet because I'm doing it for the first time. Ng on init. Here we can say if I go to my open AI, so there was generate okay, image generation. So this is supposed to be something like this. So we do something like this, const response equals to, and here we can say generate image, and here we can say generate image is a method that is essentially an async function that does openai.create image. What? Hmm. Why does this say this create image doesn't exist? That's not good. So we have image generation, and this is GPT. So GPT has OpenAI chat completion create. Sorry. So if I do dot chat, that does it. Image dot, oh, is it dot create variant or generate? So the signature has changed. So you have to use this if you're following this. And then I can essentially say const image URL equals to response.data, which is an array of images. So this has changed as well. And then I have the URL, and then I can say console.log image URL. So let's do that. And where's my app? Here's my app. Does it cry? Okay, so this says this is deployable budget and is the risk exposing your secret API credentials to the attackers. If you understand the risk and have appropriate mitigation in place, you can set the dangerously allow browser option to true. Okay, so you should not be using this in your front end. That perfectly makes sense. So then I'm gonna quickly set this allow to true since I understand the risk, so to say. So let's see if I can quickly go to OpenAI, and if I also can just say, hey, dangerously allow this. Okay, then I should be good. Cool. Then I can see what happens right here. So generations, prompt, preview data, 0 URL. So I actually did get an app. Oh, so in this case, I do get response that is what? What are you talking about? I did get the network call and also the data as well. So the network call was this one. I did see it responding with the data. So generate, what does this do? It says API promise, right? Then this is the response. The response is images response, which is this guy, which has supposed to have data. Okay, so then it doesn't do it. So generate component actually started that generate image, and the data actually came after, so it was null by default. But then how would we know? Prompt is this one. This is the size. If I do dot, then we have then, and we should be having the same effect right here in response. But why do I get, sorry, why do I get this null in this case? Let's see. So GPT open API, so this one Is this the latest documentation? Image generation, fine tuning. So this is create image. It doesn't work. Prompt, edits. Okay. This has changed quite a lot, so I'm not really sure if this is, I mean, when was this published last? 8 days ago, right? So in here we have the completions, create, blah, blah, blah. Request and response types, file uploads, handling errors, timeouts, auto pagination, advanced usage, configuring HTTPS. We don't have anything for images. Have they removed it or what? OpenAI node. Where is the image? Have they removed it? Let's see. Repositories, image, image GPT. 3 years ago. No, that's not what I want. I mean, I would still look into OpenAI. Updated 24 minutes ago. Quick start. Name my pet. No, I will not. 3 branches. The last one was July. What have they updated just now? Error handling, masters. What? So maybe they created some issue. Uh, 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 uh. Not able to run it. That's not good. Pages. 10 months ago. Okay, so I'm not relying on this at all then. Create variation, generate params, images response. So generate. So this generate, what does this do? This do a post call, and then it returns a promise. What does the post method do? What does the post do? It returns the method request. What does the method request do? I like this definition on the side. I like this, the definition right here, like this. So HTTP method API promise, which essentially resolves the option. Then the okay. So you do this dot request and you pass every single thing in that. Interesting. But if I'm using the generate in this case, then you have the client request options. I'm supposed to get. Do you have examples? Do you have image examples? Do you have image examples? Fine tuning images.ts. No, don't. When was this updated? Last month. I hate that this doesn't work as it's supposed to, because the thing I want to do actually doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't work. If this returns a null, then what are we actually talking about? The API promise itself is null. What? Body options. API promise. So it resolved null as any. Hmm. What the heck? Okay, let's have a look at it again. Maybe I have completely misunderstood what it's supposed to do. All right, let's see. So this is supposed to return a promise, creates an image given a prompt. Does not create a variation. Body options. So if I do this, it should have the response as null and then does something with that. Now I mean because it looks like it exactly does the then respond, and then we have with response. What does this do? With response. Hmm. Then what is this? Then this is the response, and then it should have rather the images. Then it should have the data dot URL. Let's see if this works. I think this should work. Cool. Then we have something that we can use now, I think. So once we get the data back, we should be having console log. There we go. And now if I open this, hey, we have an image right here. So in this particular scene, now we can add things like is loading. So we can say is loading false. And we can also say, for example, error string or null. I'm keeping it very, very simple now. And we can define it as null in the beginning. And then we can also say this dot is loading true. This dot is loading equals false. And then we can also put all of this into a try catch. Try. And we're going to put this is loading false into a finally. So catch error. And in here we can say this dot error equals dot message, and finally goes like this, error as error dot message, and we should be good. So in this particular situation now I should be able to have a CSS spinner. So I'm gonna go to pure CSS loaders, or I could have an SVG that says spinner. So hero icons is where I go. So we have spin, or is it spin loader? Nope. Nope. Progress. Nope. Do we not have a spinner icon or a loading icon? Mm-hmm. How come we don't have a loading or spinner icon? Okay, then I'll go to pure CSS loader. So I'm gonna go to this one. I'm gonna pick this guy. Let's copy the CSS. So let's quickly create another component, nggc components spinner component spinner. I'm gonna put it right here, and I'm also gonna put this guy in the HTML. I'm gonna go to generate, import this component really quick. So here I should say spinner component, and in here now I can say things like if. And do I also have to update the language service as well, or no? Let's see. Extension Angular language service. If I go no, open, not here. If I go to the extension, do we have a version that is hmm, or should I just say that this works? How do I install Angular install language service nightly? I'm gonna quickly change the battery as well. Okay, how do I install it separately? So I should have the version next. So how do I install this one? Does someone in the chat know how to install this? Uh, mm, okay. But do I install the same thing? So if I install the language service at next, then it should be good. Mm, because here BSNG language service 3 months ago. Hmm. Hmm. Is there no other way to do this? If I install this myself, what am I missing? So if I do this, need to test this out. Would that change anything in here or no? Because then I can go out from here, and then I can go in the template again, and then I can do if. And if I look at the control flow, and we have if show body, and then we have other things as well. So I'm gonna copy this guy right here. So hmm hmm so in this case I can say if it's loading, then we show app spinner, else we have not something else. we have error, then we show div error. Otherwise, we say nothing to see here. If I run this now, the app compiles well. So here it says now that the component is not available. What? What are you talking about? Let's try this again. All right, so what does this say here now? Unrecognized block if is loading. Plugin Angular compiler. Someone said that I don't really need to update anything, but that's not true. I need to add the blocks. So here we have nope, block. How do we enable that in the how do we enable that? You will have to Hanif, you will have to remove the quotation marks. All right, let's have a look at someone who has already done it. Angular control flow. Do you have Angular 17? Yes, I do. I think I do. That's a good question though. I did install or I did create it with the next 17. Yes, I do. So then why? So there are two problems right now. I don't have this in the editor, or the language services don't work together. I'm not really sure if it's supposed to work in VS Code like this or not. We're not really sure. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find its implementations somewhere. Here's a preview of the new features, blah, blah, blah. Different variables. Closing summary for both. I'm looking at the closing summary now. Pa, pa, pa. But I want to see if someone has already implemented this. So someone has done it. Let's have a look. Where's your code, Josh? Example apps. There we go. Maybe. Oh, that's a good point. No, I think no. Maybe no, because it doesn't recognize the blocks. So that's not good. So in here, let's see if Josh has something funky in the TS config. Yeah, so there you go. Someone told me in the chat that these are not required anymore, so I did not look at it at all. But it seems like they are. So enabled block types. So I can use if, for, switch, defer. And if I do this and then run, maybe everything works well. Then let's see. No, it doesn't. So here now it says okay, so then it says if is loading is right here, then we have some content to review. Okay, let's have a look at the example again. So in here we have source, app, component. Are we using anything here? No, we're not. So then we have home, component. Are we using it here? No, we're not. So then are we using it in the checklist? So here we are starting with if blah blah blah, and then we have the block being closed. And I'm using this same thing, but not. I mean, I'm not really. Hmm. Are we supposed to use this? I Do you mean this? All right, let's try it with this. Oh, do you mean loading? Then you mean the same thing. Ah, okay. Then doesn't that makes much more sense then. Yeah. So then it's this thing right here. But I saw it from the control flow summary. But then I think that was just more or less basic information and the error, and then I should be able to see it right. Where's my app? This guy. Okay, and also I need to make my CSS not have this right here. So border solid white, and we also have maybe call this indigo, but I do want to go with indigo but a bit lighter version of it, so let's go somewhere around here, and don't judge my color choices at the moment. I want to get through this quickly. So then we have a loader right here till the time we get our data, and then we can send say this thing to see here. Cool. And then also we should be able to have, if there's an error, then you fix that. So let's say if for some reason we had an error right here, then you would actually, after getting an error, you can say to new error just for fun, and I should be able. Looks like I'm a lifesaver. Yes, you are. Thank you. Thank you. Let me also do this. Thank you. Thank you. That was helpful. So now we are actually seeing the error, which is cool. So here we can then say something like error and class text red 700. So we can actually see just like this, which is super nice. I like it. Cool. And if there's nothing, if there's no error and there's not loading, then you actually render the image. So here I could use the image, and let's say I can create simple, not simple, but here we can say image URL equals this guy right here. So here we can then remove this guy, and this image URL can rather than be whoopsie this dot image URL and string or undefined. We could go one step up and say const URL equals this guy right here. If not URL, throw new error image or could not generate image. Or we could rather say no image URL. And then we can, if that's not the case, we assign the URL. We are happy with the image URL as well. And we also assign this guy right here. So source src image URL alt generated image. Cool. Ooh, fancy. There we go. That looks nice. So all we had to do was just to generate the image just like this, and everything seems to be working. So if I then have to add more to the TS and now I'm skeptical. So someone said this is not required. So if I remove this now, does it still work? Let's see. Yeah, it works. So it's still being compiled, so they were actually right, and I was stupid to not see that before. Cool. Then I have the conditions right here. So I can also generate multiple, for example. So I could say something like, in here, let's say I generate small ones, not big ones. So maybe 200x 200. Whoop, whoop. What is that in there? Is it even allowed? No. So you have 256 into 256. 5 into, okay. It's very specific of you, but okay. So 256 by 256. And we can also generate like 4 of them. So here we can say images, and that's going to be string array. And then we can just say this guy right here, and then we can say data, and we can rather say images dot length, no images. And then we can say something like this dot images equals images dot map image dot URL. And what does this say now? String undefined. So the URL, hmm, hmm, makes it tough. Okay, let's. I mean, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna put this anyways. So then I don't need to do this. Just images dot URL. Yeah, I mean, I could have used image directly, but then I don't want to do it. I'm gonna just put that for a while. So then, where's my loop for item? So I should be using for as well. So let's quickly go through that as well. I'm wondering if that's the case with the, are we using for anywhere? No. I think I should probably just go here and open this like this so we can actually see some magic. And we'll see. So then I should be using a, oops, whoopsie, a for. Can I use for in else? I think I should be able to. So then I should be able to say image of images track image itself. I think by default, no, I will put item there, because I remember from the discussion for the control flow, we have to have track in there all the time. And then I can say this guy. Now I have a redundant, but okay, it's fine. So no images. And that means that I should then have image right there. And we're using for, but then we also have to do this thing right here. So for has to have the brackets as well. Does it cry right now? Yes, it does. Does it cry now? No, we need the small brackets every single time. So we should get back multiple of those. Yay, let's go. Let's also put maybe this into a container. Casanova YT, how's it going, Casanova? So here we go to a section. We put it right here. We should go with class grid calls to gap 4. And let's do this. We should also have a section right here that should have a width full text center. So we show the app spinner in the center. Alhamdulillah. Generate Kosovo flag. What is Kosovo? What is Kosovo? Where is it? Balkans. Serbia. Oh, it's in the no? What? It's around Macedonia to southeast Albania. Ah, okay. Interesting. I'm really, really bad with geography, so I'm really sorry. if I don't get things right when you ask things like that. My country. Okay, cool. Then I can do that. Southeast Europe. Aha. Okay. How about we change the prompt then? So here we can say um Kosovo flag. Ooh, you can do item. Can I remove the track item then? Wait a second. Oh, okay. Image. That's why. It's my brain now just dying. One question, which should I select, CSE or CSE AI ML? I have no clue what CSE AI ML is. Is it the computer software engineering, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or I mean, is it cool? Which one do you like? One, two, three, four. We should also probably have a with full, but also justify, or I think it's place content center. Two of the best, right? I also like this one. Don't know why. Nice. It looks nice. Is it really the center? I'm skeptical. No, it's not the center, right? So my UI is telling me something. So this is the main, and this should also have the here. It should also have MX Auto. So everything is centered. Now this is center. Now I trust my eyes. Computer science, artificial intelligence. Yeah, got you. Casanova, go with what you like the most. That's what I can say in general. All right, so then we should probably have a simple little. I like this. I like the ability to having this. I think this solves so many things, and I can do a lot more complex stuff here, which is amazing, which is really really nice. Because here I can check, for example, this images. It also has the base64 JSON as well. So this is really cool. I think what I would just like to add in the end is one single input that allows us to generate the to provide the prompt, and I think that should be good. So in this case we can go to input, which is right here, email blah blah blah. I think this is much nicer. mm, mm, with floating label, maybe no. Maybe this one. All right, so then we go right here. Oh, it requires stable CSS forms. Not really sure. Can we keep this simple? Underline. What does this do? I like this one. I think this also requires the plugin. Yeah, stable CSS forms. Cool. No worries. We'll install it. npm I save tailwind CSS forms, and we can also then update that into tailwind config plugins require tailwind CSS forms. And let's do this guy right here. Let's remove this. Let's also check this right now. Where's my input? Where's my input? Label for user, blah blah blah, border gray, bg transparent. Let's save this now. There we go. Email. This should be prompt. Prompt. I think I should probably take a text area instead of this guy and this guy, and placeholder type your prompt here, and close this guy. Right? There we go. And we can also have a padding t of 2. Yeah, this looks much nicer. And then I can provide the prompt here, and then I can also have a button that does all of that. So let's quickly do a form. Do this. Also have a button. I want a nice little button that I can use. So let's go to Hyper UI Dev again and go to button. Pa, pa, pa. Button. Buttons. This one. This one. This one. This one. This one is nice. But then I have to make them. Yeah, I'll do that. So then this one is the one. Da da. Ah, come on. I want to format this nicely. Can I? What is this monstrosity? Format document. Format document. Configure. Prettier. Do it. Okay, so it comes with 2 of them. So let's change that here. So this A keeps there. This one goes away. This A should be a button. Should not have an href. Looks like this. Looks too big, to be honest. Can I make it small? Is it because of the SVG itself? And do we have the class of okay, 2 2? No, why do you want to do that? Samula, how's it going, Zami? You good? Okay, let's go and quickly fix that. So we did change the height and width. Let's also change the form to have a class of flex items center. Have you ever did get data from any SC and SKR for X Arduino? Use them for DB2 on front end? No, I don't. I have not yet. Nope. Let's also add this to row 4. So we have some rows already. And we can also say height. Maybe we can add some height to it like this. So we do have. Why do we have a scroll in here? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. But full. Don't like it. So in here I do have the okay. Then you also get to then have the flex one. Why does this not take the full width? So this one has to have a flex with 100% as well. Then this guy label should take a flex 1. But this is what I just did. No, I did it on the text area. Stupid of me. So here it should be flex 1. There we go. And this looks nice. I should also have this as a gap 6. So we also have a gap here as well. And then I can type and then have a particular sensor. No, I have not done it yet. I do remember I haven't done it for our Arduino, but I did have a device from, I don't remember what was the name of the company, but I did work for a project in which I had a device which I needed to get data from via Bluetooth. So prompt text, let's add that right here. id prompt text and type your prompt here. Cool. We can also change this, and we also can say if we submit, then we run the generate image, and we can pass the uh, event as well, and in here we can get those now. So here we should have no, yeah, event, and in here I should have no, I'm thinking now, no. So here I should have form submit event prevent default. I mean, I could take const, I mean, let's keep this simple. So const vanilla JavaScript, const form equals event dot target as HTML form element, and here we can then say const text area equals form dot elements dot named item. What was the name of the text area? Prompt text. So prompt text as HTML text area element, and here then we can say generate image. So we can say this dot prompt text equals this. We can maybe start with the default one, which was Kosovo flag. So we can say prompt text, which comes here, text area dot value, and then we do this dot generate image prompt text, and here we can say prompt string that needs to be set right here. So I can just say this, and then here we can also say this dot prompt text. Cool. And then let's save this as well. I'm looking at the messages now. Sami says फिर जनाब sensor मेरा AI का, I don't know why do we have this person right here, but anyways, मेरा AI का टीचर रोज असाइनमेंट दे देता है, आज उसको उठाने के तरीके सोच रहा हूँ, नींद नहीं आ रही, क्या करूँ? किसको उठाने के तरीके? टीचर को उठाने के तरीके या असाइनमेंट को उठाने के तरीके? What are you talking about? Any remote work proposal for 3 years experience of Angular. What do you mean? When you say remote work proposal for 3 years, do you mean, what do you mean? Confused. Mr. Matt says, hello Ahsan, I have 2 questions please. I am obliged to use signals in my new projects. Am I still allowed to redo things as I did them before Angular 16? Yeah, you can. You can use signals, you can avoid using signals. It's perfectly fine. Completely okay. No problem at all. Right, so here, then I should, but now the problem is, now we get into the realm of actually using forms. So let's do it the correct way. So forms module. I'm gonna quickly go and just bind ng model with this ng model prompt text. So we also have that as well. Then I don't need to actually have all this magic here. I can just say this, and this should be good, right? There we go. So then I would have name attribute. Oh yes, of course. So the name also should be name prompt text. Thank you. And do I need to use ng form as well? No. So here we have the Kosovo flag, but I can change that as well. Let's say Pakistan flag, and let's also do a submit Some companies or websites that can acquire me as an employee. Ah, hmm, remotely. Try going with Modus Create. I have worked with them already. So try these ones. They're based in US. I think they're one of the Fortune 5,000 companies. So it's a good company. I worked with them as a software architect. So you can yeah, you can mention that you watch my stream, for example. Okay, thanks for your answers and have a great night. You too. Thank you. टीचर को एआई पढ़ रहा हूँ और हद कुछ आता नहीं है. It's so annoying. Happens. I can imagine. And here we can do something, for example, um, a red elephant wearing a yellow hat having Iron Man sitting on top. How about that? Could you reference? I'm not really sure. I cannot reference because I don't really recommend someone that I've not worked with closely. So, and that is just to be fair with everyone else because I've gotten similar requests in the past as well. But you can definitely mention about the stream. And I think based on your skill set, they're pretty open. They're very good with merits. So I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, so it picked up colors from Iron Man. This looks weird, but I think it's not too bad, right? Angular logo, modern, techie, super cool. Let's see. Are you using Dolly or something? I'm using OpenAI. OpenAI uses Dolly in the background. Anganel. No. No. Nope. Doesn't work. All right. Iron Man. Maybe I think we can convert this into a text input, to be honest. I don't think text area is a good idea right here. So I'm going to change this to this. Type is going to be text. And we have the submit event here. We do have the button. The button's type should be submit. Cool. Then I have this. Let's see. Iron Man. OpenAI will show its spinner on search. What do you mean? It's so bad with text. Yes, it is. Look at this Iron Man right here. Damn. Okay. So yeah, I think this is good. I'm gonna just check one quick thing. Give me 1 second. I need to see actually if the APIs that we are using right now actually contains the or the network request. Does it contain the API call? And can people actually intersect with that? Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it does. So in the request authorization header, I can actually see my token, my API key, which is not fun. So did you say if I search something? So if I say Spider-Man, Sprinderman, no, Spider-Man and Hulk and Egg White. What do you mean? It shows search. I've searched two, three, maybe they fix it, but I'm showing the spinner. It's my spinner, so if something would have to be fixed, that's gonna be me because this is the spinner that I'm showing. It shows their spinner component, but I get the image URL. Do you mean that the images that I get back are spinners instead of images? Or what do you mean? Because the spinner that I have right here is built by me. No. Am I confusing what you're saying? But anyways, this is good. So I think I have a good understanding of the blocks. I like it. I like it. I like it. So I think it's good. What do you think? Do you find this interesting? Do you find the problem? Do you think this is interesting stuff? I'm gonna try to see if I can condense the chat here somehow. Better solution than NGF? Way better. Way better. I can imagine doing so much with this and just the blocks. And I think when we keep adding on top of this, it's gonna be nice. I'm gonna add this to what was the ngx env thingy that I saw from someone using? Is this maintained well? 4 months ago. Okay. Okay, ngf version, ngf commit, enable. But I don't want to use it in the yeah, I don't want to. I mean, I can push the code, but it will not work unless we have something. So I'm gonna push this. Daniel says I'm working on React.js or searching jobs. Should I switch to Angular? Should I continue with React? I've noticed many companies are looking for both React and Angular skills for front end dev. I would say just focus on one, to be honest. If you switch too much, it's not gonna help a lot, to be honest. So don't switch too much. Let's commit this. So no, let's not commit this. So ng add any env builder. Let's quickly do that. Then we can also so in this situation we do have define environment variables in env optional. So then we can say in here we can say something like env.example, env.example, and in here we can say ng app open AI key, your OpenAI key, and then we can also in the git ignore, I think we would also have env. No, we don't have it. Okay, cool. Env. So then we can say .env right here. This should be ignored automatically. Yes, proceed. I'm working on React.js. Okay, I would like to know what full stack language should I learn since I'm a Angular developer. I mean, it really depends on what you are interested in. So for classic answer, but if you want to stick with TypeScript because you're an Angular developer, you can look into Nest.js. And if you want a really good tutorial, I would recommend going with this one. In this one, we built a mini threads app using Angular and Nest.js. So I would highly recommend this one. But you can look for example, Rust, Go, Python. I think Go is a good choice as well, but Rust is also good as well. I have a tab in my work machine that says Rust, but we'll see if I ever get to that point. Anyways, I'm not really sure if it's gonna work with v17 though. Right? So here you have ngap env undefined, so injected keys. Now it says schema validation failed to following. What do you mean? So source env.t.ts. So in here we should have ngapp env. Okay, so built-in environment variable. Okay. Okay, then I should be removing all of it. Does it work now? No, it doesn't. Key string, da 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 da. So app env. Should I have the app env here? But it doesn't do anything. Ah, things with the third party libraries doesn't work. Let's see. Issues. Do we have this managed somewhere? Data path must have acquired property main. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Okay, so I'm not really sure if I have to do ng app env. Should I say myself here that this is development? Not really sure. Now I don't like it. So, and this is not a Git repository as well. Sorry, Git init. So the problem right now is I don't have a way to get rid of the what we have now created. So they updated the app config, I think. So app config. When I ran the command, it probably said it updated two things. What was that? Serve. No. Npm start. What did you update? Was it this one? Update angular.json. So the angular.json was updated. Drop अच्छा वाला चल रहा था. अब नहीं चल रहा? I think it still works. Oh, your score, do you mean? Acha, let's see. Angular JSON. So we have env builder that they have changed. Now I don't have. Let's see. Let's see if I can find the error. So ngx. What is this? Is it coming from main? No. Hmm. No. Okay, now I'm lost and I don't have any code to go back to as well. So I need to go to here and just change that. So this should be Angular dev kit, I'm assuming. So ngx env. It's gonna change everything to Angular dev kit. Let's run npm start. So we have, for example, architect. Build Angular browser. Let's quickly change this guy right here. Let's see. I'm checking if anything here is something that I need to change. No. Copy this guy and I'm gonna just paste this right here. Let's see. Abdul Rahman Ujjain. How's it going? Okay, but this is not using the, is it using wheat now? No, I don't think so. No. Let's see if I refresh this guy and if I go and save this, I don't think this uses wheat anymore because application bundle regeneration complete reloading clients. This is what it showed before. Now it doesn't show that. So I've definitely changed something because I think the okay. So now I have to right. Let's do this again. So we need to do npm npx angular cli add, where are you, this guy right here. So next new stand, let's call this ng flow ctrl standalone routing style.scss. Samullah, I can see that. Abdul Rahman says, Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy the Angular JSON from the other folder so we don't lose it. And I'm gonna also remove, I'm gonna remove the ngx filter thingy as it doesn't work. So npm uninstall this guy. Go, 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 go. No. Cool. Then we should have uninstalled it. Cool, cool, cool. And we're gonna just open that quickly. My mind is so yes, I can see that. All right, time's flying. Code ng low. Is it going to create it inside here? Hopefully not. Cool. So code g flow control. Let's see what the Angular JSON looks like. Flow control, project type, schematics, blah blah blah. Build kit, Angular application, blah blah blah. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna use. Let's go to Angular JSON, use this, run this again. Let's see if I can see beat now. This is good, I think. So then I can save this. Cool. And then I can also see this guy, generate component. Cool. I think we're good. So give me 1 second. I'm going to remove the code from OpenAI and then we should be good. So here we should have something like npm run environment or np I'm thinking now, how should we make it smaller? So in this case, we might have to just say, let's see, we can do ng generate environments. Okay. Then I can also create an environment file here. So this one should be environment.development. So here we should have open AI key. This is here. So here, open AI key. Let's save this guy right now. And then I can copy, and then we can use it in the generate component. So in here, or give me 1 second, I should be copying from OpenAI to actually the component. So if I go here, should be doing this, and then I should be able to say something like environment.development.ts. give it give it to me. So environment.ts actually. I'm gonna also ignore the environment.development.ts. Akshay, how's it going? Git ignore environment.development.ts. So I'm gonna ignore it. And then we can quickly go here, copy this guy right here, go into environment development TS, paste it right here, copy it like this right here, paste the key, give me 1 second, and then we can have environment dot OpenAPI key or OpenAI key. We save this guy. We don't ever push development, but we're going to then double check if everything works. Okay, so then I can run this. There we go. Then I can close this guy. Let's see if this still works. So if I go to my application, yeah, this still works. I'm going to change the default prompt to something else. Let's say the prompt. What should be the default prompt be? Maybe we can say happy programmer. Can we create Angular project with Vite? If not, why? The new version, Angular version 17, will have Vite. एहसन भाई कभी फिशिंग वेबसाइट बना कर दिया आपने किसी को या खुद के लिए बनाई है? मैं करता था आज से 7-8 साल पहले. मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट के तौर पे किया हुआ बट नॉट रियली किसी और चीज़ के लिए. वांटेड टू आस्क हाउ टू मेक अ वेबसाइट फास्ट लाइक व्हाइल कोडिंग व्हाट कैन मेक इट सो शुड कीप इन माइंड. बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. देयर टू मेनी थिंग्स लाइक रनिंग अ लॉट ऑफ लिस्ट, हैविंग ब्लॉकिंग जावास्क्रिप्ट, हैविंग ह्यूज इमेजेस. लुक इनटू वेब परफॉर्मेंस और आपको web.dev पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें मिल जाएंगी. तो आई थिंक दैट्स अ मच बेटर प्लेस टू लुक एट दैट. लुक एट द हैप्पी प्रोग्रामर. देयर यू गो. अक्षय हेलो. एहसन भाई की दे दें. नोप, हम बिल्कुल भी एग्जॉस्ट नहीं करेंगे. नोप नोप. My first time here. I'm working as an Angular developer. Wants to learn some advanced Angular. Cool. We're looking at something called the control flow and deferred loading in Angular. This is something that is not there yet, and or not in Angular yet, but we have looked into it. We've created an application that uses the nightly versions of Angular. So this is not supposed to be actually in or in production. So welcome Akshay, you can ask anything. Yasin bhai is our top G, he answers everything. I try. Okay, anyways, so we do have everything in here. If I deploy this, then obviously this is not going to work. So what I want to put in the readme is how to make this work. So in this one, usage, here we can say create we call it create the file app, source app. Is it inside app or no? No, source in environment dot development dot ts environment.development.ts. Okay, and add the following code to it, ts, and in here we can just do this. So we can quickly put this right here. Run npm run or npm start or npm start. Cool. Then this should be good. So I can say preview to the side, usage, create the env file, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So this is good. And then I think we have already saved the rest of the things. I don't think we need to cover anything yet more. Cool. So I can then push it, right? Cool. So here we can say git add dot. Oh no, wait a second. I need to also delete the file OpenAI. So let's quickly do OpenAI.ts. Let's delete this guy. Let's see if everything still works. Yes, it does. And then we do git add dot. Cool. Now we can create a repository for this one. So let's go to GitHub, SNIOS. Let's add one more into, I think we should probably add that into CodewithAhsan, but we can, yeah, we can create ng control flow and we can make this public. Nothing to keep there. Actually, can do this. Can do git remote add origin. This guy git commit initial commit with the app, with the final app, and then we can just push this. Have I committed anything that I should not be committing? I do see that I do see that there was a file env.d.ts. I don't think we need this anymore. So I'm gonna delete that. Git add, git commit, chore, removed env.d.ts, git push, and we should have it now. Cool. So now if I refresh this, there we go. Cool. So now this can be used by anyone. Okay. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. So I wanted to go through the control flow and it seems nice. Our happy programmer is still happy, which is cool. This guy is, I think he is too happy. One should not be that happy. No. All right. Thank you, everyone. This was much fun. I think everyone enjoyed the control flow. So I'm going to leave it at this point, and I'll see you later. Thank you, and have fun. Have a good one. Take care. Allah Hafiz. It's like the truth. I don't know if it doesn't show the truth, but I think I've seen only this when it's my last day at the company and I know the production is down and I know how to fix it, but I don't. So maybe. No, I'm just kidding. No one should do that ever. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Have a good one. Ooh, this one was a new one. All right. Cool. Have a good one. Bye. Allah Hafiz.